The ideas that gave birth to our nation are the ideas that our nation is resistant to right now, and we should talk about that all the time.
In a world where narratives are shaped by corporations and gatekeepers, independent voices matter more than ever. Badlands Media brings together citizen journalists, researchers, and independent thinkers.
The truth is triggering.
Question the narrative. Explore the facts.
It's authenticity, courage, resilience.
Search for the truth others won't.
It's not about being first or being right.
The information war is changing.
It's about being authentic.
Embrace the friction.
Embrace the friction.
Shut the f*** up.
Authentically antagonizing. Join the movement.
I'm going to say how I feel.
Follow Badlands Media.
This is about the future.
The Badlands. What are the Badlands? Explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
Consider myself a conspiracy buff at all, but when they get a lot of coincidences, I get a little suspicious and call me crazy.
Polls, weird talk shows, crazy groups every Sunday telling you what you think.
The Republicans and the Democrats conspire with one another, which they do.
There is a conspiracy by big business against American democracy.
We know that there was a conspiracy.
There was a conspiracy.
There was no conspiracy.
Was there a conspiracy?
A communist conspiracy directed out of Moscow.
The right-wing conspiracy.
Communist conspiracy is a deliberate and predictable plan of action to subvert the world.
Right-wing conspiracy.
International criminal conspiracy.
Vast right-wing conspiracy.
Great conspiracy.
There are all these conspiracy theories.
Was there a conspiracy? I don't know.
Perhaps themselves even involved in the conspiracy.
There was a conspiracy.
No evidence
of a conspiracy.
Anybody would have to be a fool nowadays to dismiss conspiracies.
Conspiracy theory.
Cockeyed conspiracy theory.
Conspiracy theory exists because there really is conspiracy.
But they never told a soul about it. In fact, they engaged in a vast conspiracy.
Since you get accused of being a conspiracy theorist, of being a paranoid.
The historical context of actual conspiracy.
A conspiracy of bad people.
As always happens at some point in a conspiracy. One night, Cousin Eddie got drunk in a honky-tonk and spilled the beans.
There was a conspiracy, and government was involved in it.
Conspiracy existing within the United States government.
There was a conspiracy.
A
conspiracy by the CIA.
The conspiracy of a few.
Dark, secretive, conspiratorial, evil.
Then it was certainly a deliberate conspiracy.
High-level conspiracy.
The do's and the don'ts and the rights and the wrongs of the various conspiracy theories that are good. Possibility of a conspiracy. In a moral sense, I think it was a conspiracy.
One conspiracy, that's all I'm talking about.
Full of speculation, conspiracy theories, and the like.
And what's going on here? You began to wonder what was really happening in America. I mean, was there a vast conspiracy afoot? You know, there could have been a conspiracy.
Do you think you're obsessed with conspiracy?
Conspiracy theory.
A conspiracy.
I'm afraid you'll catch me. I'm afraid you'll catch me.
A conspiracy would do the job nicely.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of your favorite Monday night show, and likely your favorite show overall, Baseless Conspiracies. Zach, how you doing, man? How was the weekend?
The weekend was good. Yeah, nice and relaxing. I got some yard work done, got some trees trimmed, and got to use my brand new 30-foot lopper, which was pretty cool.
A 30-foot lopper? What is a lopper?
It's just a tree trimmer. It's a fancy word for a tree trimmer, but 30 feet is pretty awesome because it's got like a bunch of poles. I just keep getting it taller and taller and taller so that I can get up and get the branches that I can't reach off the ground.
Somebody needs to go clip what Zach just said with the hand motions there. It's gold. Yeah, just making it taller and taller and taller. Jimmy Junkie Blues in the chat says, favorite Monday night show and probably my favorite show of all time. Too bad Zach doesn't do it with someone less homosexual. And you know what? I totally agree, but it's Pride Month, so I don't think you can say that. This is my month, isn't it?
Right. That's right. It is. And the biggest Pride parade in the world is scheduled to take place this month. Do you know where that's at, John?
Okay, it's a Pride parade.
It's the biggest Pride parade in the history of the world.
And it's okay, so it's the gays. It's probably not Iran or the Middle East anywhere. If I had to guess, it's in America somewhere. Is that right?
No,
America?
it's totally wrong. You're already wrong.
It's not even in America?
Barking up the wrong tree. Yes, it's not in America.
Okay, well then let's think of other super gay. Well, it's probably like Canada, somewhere in Europe, maybe.
No, unfortunately,
Australia?
No.
Africa? No, I don't know. Antarctica, the moon, Greenland?
No, it's actually in the Middle East.
No shit.
It's in Israel.
How?
It's in Israel, and it is.
Okay, well, I should have thought of Israel. They were the super gays. That was my bad.
Sodom and Gomorrah is real. The renowned Pride Week and large-scale festival. This is quite literally the largest LGBTQ plus event in the world. You've got Pride Land in the Dead Sea. Wow. Israel is hosting a massive 4-day LGBTQ plus festival called Pride Land. It spans across 15 hotels, bottles of baby oil as far as the eye can see. And then there's also Tel Aviv Pride, which is internationally celebrated as the largest pride gathering in Asia. In Asia, Israel counts as in Asia? I wouldn't have thought that.
Maybe.
I don't know. And then there's also Jerusalem Pride because, why not? And
That's
then
unbelievable.
Yeah. So essentially there's just like a series of gigantic pride events taking place during the month of June. And
do they do like something different when they get to the wall? Like,
I mean, besides blaspheme God.
I don't get it.
I feel like it's a much more overt type of blasphemy by doing it in the Holy Land.
Yeah, man. Leave it to the Jews for the largest gay pride parade. Speaking of like gayness, the whole Iran conflict situation is really getting interesting, and a lot of fake news flying around. Mark Levin's being a total faggot. Like, it's hilarious.
What was he upset about? Somebody leaked something to Barack Ravid. I thought Barack Ravid was the guy that the White House leaked shit to if they wanted to confuse everybody.
Oh, for sure. And plus, like, it's Axios, it's mainstream media. Like, it's probably not real anyway. It's anonymous source story, but supposedly somebody told Axios that when Trump was on the call with Bibi Netanyahu, he was like super pissed off, and I can find the quotes here.
This is actually very spicy. I did see this quote earlier, and I bookmarked it for reference later. I like this.
Yeah, but again, it's very possible that it's fake news. It's very possible. It's like, who knows if it's real or not? That's the thing. But apparently he said, "You're fucking crazy." Trump fumes at Netanyahu in call on Lebanon. And I can share the screen here.
Well, yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, it would not be outside the realm of possibility. When Israel last week, in the middle of peace negotiations with Iran, announced that they were going to basically invade Lebanon and they were just going to pick up the bombing campaign, I was like, somebody stop me if you think that this is not an effort to derail peace negotiations.
Yeah, so Trump lashed out at Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu over Israel's escalation in Lebanon. Earlier on Monday, Iran threatened to abandon the negotiations with the U.S. over Israel's actions in Lebanon. On the call, Trump called Netanyahu crazy, accused him of ingratitude, according to two of the sources. Two sources and a third source briefed on the call. He also put the brakes on Israel's plan to strike Beirut. One U.S. official said Trump told Netanyahu that following through on his threats to bomb Lebanese capital would further isolate Israel around the world. Two sources claimed Trump claimed he'd help keep Netanyahu out of jail. Summarizing Trump's remarks to Netanyahu, one official said, "You're fucking crazy. You'd be in prison if it weren't for me. I'm saving your ass. Everybody hates you now. Everybody hates Israel because of this." A second source briefed on the call said Trump was pissed and at one point yelled at Netanyahu, "What the fuck are you doing?" So I could totally see Trump saying any of these things. And if he did, I wouldn't care. I could totally see it being completely fake news. And would not be surprised if, like, in the next 24 hours, we see Trump go to Truth Social and be like super supportive of Netanyahu and Israel to completely like balance out the story.
Well, I mean, he already did put out a truth where he basically said, had a great call with Bibi today, and they've agreed to not kill the Lebanese people or the Christians in the southern portion of the nation where they were dropping bombs.
Yeah,
and they will be invading.
Oh, it's so ridiculous. But then, so Mark Levin comes out and he says this. The leak in Axios was a violation of federal law and provided support to the Iranian regime and its Hezbollah proxy. Whomever leaked that story to Barack Ravid at Axios did a grave disservice to our country, to our president, to Israel, and to Israel's prime minister. The Iranian regime will benefit from that leak, viewing us as weak and desperate for a deal, even coming to Hezbollah's defense. The Israeli people will also be furious. The missiles are aimed at them, not Washington. And for the 100 other reasons, what was thought to be a devastating political hit in Netanyahu by the leakers about a private call between heads of state has done much damage to us and our military and our diplomatic strategy. And if the leakers or others believe Israel should abandon its survival for some deal, they will have a very hard lesson to learn. If the substance of the call is accurate, it is bad enough in my view. Will there be an FBI investigation to determine who leaked? If not, why not? And my thought here is he's been in the media space a long time.
Yeah.
Go through his profile, search, see if you can find any time that Mark Levin has wanted an investigation into leaks coming to the mainstream media. And keep in mind, it's been pretty much nothing but nonstop leaks since before Trump came down the escalator. It's always been leaks, always.
Right.
And you'll never see an instance where Mark Levin is called for an investigation from the FBI into those leaks.
Never.
Until now, when it damages Bibi Netanyahu and Israel. Then now it's crossed the line. It's ridiculous.
I feel that's fairly telling. I think that he's probably also super upset that Trump said in that truth that he also just casually had a call with Hezbollah. I could see Levin fuming at the idea, like, what are you doing talking to Hezbollah? You're not supposed to talk to Hezbollah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all hilarious. I think it's mostly discombobulation. Most of this negotiation peace process has been discombobulation.
Yeah.
Retarded, but I do love watching everybody tweak out on social media. Ash popped in and says, sorry, Jon and Zak. And I think we should just shit talk Ash for a little bit because she should be sorry.
Yeah, you're dead to me.
For being a woman, mostly. I mean, like, how dare you?
Yeah. We are still not live on Twitch or on Facebook.
Because of Ash.
Now, what's really funny, John, I don't think I told you this, but like 2 weeks ago, like apropos of nothing, I get an email from Twitch and they tell me that they have decided to ban my Twitch account.
No shit.
Yeah, but they did that already. They banned me back in like 2022, like right after I moved to Florida. Because I remember my desk was over on that side of the room and I'm on the stream. I just started up and literally as I'm about to hit go, I get an email in my email inbox and it says, due to severe and repeated infractions of Twitch's user policy, we are banning your channel and you are not going to be able to stream. So I had 3,000 people waiting in the Twitch chat. And so I start just long enough to say, I'm banned on Twitch. Everybody has to go over here. And it happened quick enough. And then they literally cut my channel off in the middle of it. And so I have no idea what prompted them to write me again, because I never bothered to appeal. I've always just continued to talk shit about Twitch. I didn't like Twitch. I mean, I felt like the interface was clunky and I just had to deal with a bunch of left-wing morons over there all the time. And I was doing call-in shows back then. So it was difficult.
Yeah, when I started streaming, I started with Rumble and Twitch. Those were the first two platforms. And then eventually a bunch of my friends like you guys and Sather and others got kicked off of Twitch. I never did. But I was like, well, I'm not going to stream there anymore. It was kind of a principled thing. But now we're in the mindset of trying to reach as many people as possible.
I get it.
So we're live on Instagram right now, even.
Yeah,
Instagram, cool. YouTube, Twitter. It's really just Facebook, Twitch, and Kick that we're not, because Ash messed it up for us.
All right. Well, I thought that maybe it would just automatically start on Twitch, or
it normally does.
They're not that sophisticated.
Did
apparently.
she actually end her stream?
Well,
it's possible she didn't.
Yeah. What about Fakebook? Why aren't we live in there?
Well, I don't know. Ash ended her stream, so whatever. It'll happen when it happens.
Yeah, I'm not.
We do have a couple of sponsors to get to, but I think tonight we are going to do a call-in show.
Yeah, because we're hoping that Max Patriot from last week will call in and chew my ass out properly on the air for the fear-mongering that I engaged in.
You did do a lot of that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know about the audience, but I left scared based on what you said.
I mean, all I did was speak truth. I mean, either way, at the end of the day, I want everybody to know that, alpha gal is a real thing. Ticks are everywhere. You just got to make sure you protect yourself. That's it.
Yeah. But if you're smart, you won't get the alpha gal syndrome. You'll maybe remain the alpha male instead. But let's get a quick word from our sponsors. And know what I'm going to do? I'm going to post the link for anybody who wants to call in. You can do so. We just ask you, don't filibuster. We don't necessarily need life stories. Standing by on StreamYard. He says he's standing by on StreamYard. I don't see you.
No, not today, sir.
Let me give you the link again. Hold for processing. I don't know if it sent him the wrong link or maybe. Oh, there he is. Here he is. Awesome.
He's here.
He's in the background. Okay, we'll bring you on in a minute. We're going to do our sponsors first, and then we'll bring you on. And I'm going to bring or post the link in the chat for anybody who wants to hop in with comments, questions, conspiracies, whatever you think.
Yep.
Just no filibustering, and I don't know, any other rules you want, Zach?
I mean, make sure you know how to use your mic before you call in.
Yeah, that'd be helpful too.
Yeah, get that sorted.
All right. First up tonight for a sponsor, we got Native Path Krill Oil. This episode is brought to you by Native Path Antarctic Krill Oil, omega-3s, astaxanthin for heart, joints, and memory. You may have seen the headlines about chemicals in conventional sunscreens, ingredients like oxybenzone, that are now being pulled from shelves over hormone concerns. Here's what most people don't know. There's a natural antioxidant called astaxanthin that is being called internal sunscreen. It works from the inside out, helping neutralize free radicals at the cellular level, and the most concentrated natural source is Antarctic krill. Today's sponsor has it. If you've been taking fish oil for heart, joint, or memory support, here's something you need to know. Research shows fish oil is 50% less absorbable than krill oil because fish oil's omega-3s are in triglyceride form, while krill oils are in phospholipid form, which is the same format your cell walls are made of. That means that krill oil gets into your cells immediately, and in head-to-head studies, krill oil outperformed fish oil at improving cholesterol, reducing inflammation, and easing joint pain, often at lower doses. And for this special offer, you can save up to 60%. Head to getkrill.com/badlands. That's getkrill.com/badlands, and you can try it risk-free with a 365-day money-back guarantee. My math is right. That is a total of 1 year.
It is. You were spot on, and I can personally attest to the fact that I take astaxanthin every single day.
Hell yeah,
yeah, love it. And I have taken various types of like fish oil and krill oils and stuff before, and sometimes you do have like fishy burps. I've never had that with the astaxanthin.
Fishy burps are the worst.
Yeah, you don't want that.
All right. We do have another sponsor a little bit later.
Okay.
From Rumble Wallet, but we're going to do our soft disclosure ad now. Then we're going to get to Mac, Southwest Patriot in the chat, and then Pie Man, who's waiting backstage. And if anybody else wants to call in, you can do so. My mom's even in the chat said I would call in, but you never answer your mom's calls. That's true. I will leave her on read. But here's soft disclosure, softdisclosure.com.
A long, long time ago, a raider went into a dangerous cave because he was on an adventure. Or like he smelled like an adventure. But the cave was protected by spiders and lizards. No, it was snakes. Snakes? Why did it have to be snakes? Whatever it was, the raider wasn't scared of it because it was Ghost, the lotion raider. Then he found the golden deodorant. That's not deodorant, that's the towel bar. It was soft disclosure. Ghost had exactly 1 second to switch it, or the whole cave explodes! And then the boulders started chasing him. Run, Ghost, run! Oh no, he dropped the soft disclosure. I got it. I understand its power now. That lotion is an important artifact, and it belongs in every household. Visit softdisclosure.com and use promo code LotionWaiter for 15% off.
Another classic from Green Star.
Were those Ghosts kids that were doing the voiceovers?
No, I don't think so. He didn't know anything about the commercial coming. So.
Oh, okay. All right. That was so good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anything is going to top the DeLorean and Zak Paine and the song, but man, he's so good.
Oh my God. I didn't even tell you. Somebody, a viewer of the program, sent me some pictures. She makes shadow boxes, and she took the still of me jumping and doing the splits in the air, and she included it. It's like
oh my gosh,
it has like Russian ballet dancers in it. Hold on, let me pull it up. Because
you do that. I'm going to bring on. I'll wait for you to do this because I don't want you to be distracted for the lashing you're about to get from Max Southwest Patriot.
I don't either, man. I want to be like present for it. That's
I do
for sure.
too.
Okay, all right, here it is, and
oh my gosh, that's so cool.
I mean,
that is so cool.
It's great. I mean, like she just does this because she's creative, and I think it's so cool. But
that is amazing. I need a life-size poster of you doing the splits like that.
Oh my God,
that'd be ideal. But all right, Max Southwest Patriot, I hope you're ready. Zach, I hope you're ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Let's talk about Zach and tick fear porn. What's up, Mac? You're muted.
How you guys doing?
Mac,
doing well. How are you, sir?
Doing well. Man, you're feeding it up pretty bad for me, Zach. I'm telling you. I wasn't. It came off wrong. I wasn't trying to indicate, infer anything negative that you were doing. Okay.
Oh, and let me say this before we even go any further. Even if you were, I was just busting your balls, so I wouldn't have cared about it. It was totally cool. I love your glasses. You are forgiven, even if there's nothing intended. So
hold on. Can I interject here? I think he was. We were inferring correctly. Zach was issuing way too much fear porn. He had a clear agenda, anti-tick agenda. He was being paid by the anti-tick lobby, clearly. Listen, so I think this is fair.
I do need to admit something. I've recently taken a consulting position at Pfizer because they and let me tell you, I mean, that vaccine money pays pretty good, and I figured, with Lyme disease vaccine, why not? But anyways, just kidding.
It was an excited utterance statement because you helped me answer a question that I've been working on for over a month. I've been following this tick conspiracy for about a month.
Oh, right on.
And I kept, I'm looking towards making a conspiracy be debunked. And I was asking myself, what do you call a debunked conspiracy? And I couldn't come up with a good answer for that. And after watching the show last week, it just kind of hit me like a light bulb. A debunked conspiracy is nothing anymore. Yeah. But it is still fear porn for the people who believe it.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a great point.
Okay. And I have a timeline of this conspiracy on these ticks things.
Yeah.
And if you got a couple of minutes of latitude for me, I'd like to get your opinion on it.
Yeah, sure.
I honestly think that what I'm looking at and following is an arm of the tentacle, a tentacle of the octopus.
Okay. I can believe it. And if I can just add, I thought that it was really convenient that this particular conspiracy popped up like in conjunction with the announcement from Pfizer and that other company that they were about to release the Lyme disease vaccine because
phase 2 trials.
Yes, exactly. So even if you've got people who are like vaccine hesitant, they don't want to get vaccinated. If they are convinced that a real vaccine is going to be released and it's going to stop them from getting Lyme disease and people are dropping mysterious boxes of ticks on their properties, then maybe they will be less hesitant to go ahead and get the vaccine.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly.
Yep.
But
so
anyway,
in other words, I'm saying maybe the whole thing started because Pfizer wanted the conversation.
Could be.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Week of the 11th through the 15th. I'm on X every day. I start seeing this guy walking around the woods and he finds a box of ticks. Okay. And he kicks them around. Oh my God, somebody's planting ticks in my yard, right?
Yep.
Okay. What's the first step in planting a psyop? That would be to plant a seed.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you want to water that seed. So for the next few days after that week, I see this guy wrapping tape around his legs and running through the woods and then coming out and saying, oh my God, I live in Illinois. look at all these ticks stuck to the tape, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then they start showing pictures of dead rabbits, dead deer, you know, and there are ticks all over them. Step 2 is Psyop. You water the seeds to make it grow a little bit. Hence, May 25th comes out. That's you guys' show last week. Yep. And that's when I made my excited utterance. Why is Zach putting out fear porn? Okay. I wasn't accusing you. I swear, brother. I swear.
I was accusing him. I'll take responsibility for that. I think he was, and I stand by it.
Now, on the 28th of May, which is a couple of days later, I was going to the grocery store. I listened to Hannity. It was 5:50 AM 5:50. Yep. Hannity's talking about Texas beef and ticks are being overrun in the Texas beef, and the Texas beef industry is going to all have alpha-gal syndrome now.
Yes, alpha-gal, yeah.
Yeah. The very next day, I don't know if you're familiar with Tom Srenz.
Oh, yes, of course.
He's an attorney out of Alabama.
Yeah, I've had him on the show before.
It's kind of retarded, but yeah.
Well, he was fighting against the COVID hoax, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's also pushed plenty hoaxes, anti-Trump hoaxes of his own. He's kind of spread some propaganda. Not a huge fan, but I'm familiar with him. Some of the stuff he used to do was good.
Well, he's talking about super ticks and alpha-gal. And you see how this seed that was planted with a guy with a box of ticks is starting to grow. Mm-hmm. And it's growing immensely. Mm-hmm. Just today, okay, I saw a video on X where RFK Jr. is talking about ticks.
Yep.
Okay. And then even on the Daily Show, which I never miss, by the way, okay? Mm-hmm. There's 2 shows I never miss. One is the Daily Show with CanCon and whoever's on, and the other one is Baseless Conspiracies, okay?
Much love.
But do you see a pattern how this Psyop is growing and growing?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I'm going to be looking to next week. It's probably going to be on the Alex Jones Show, and then maybe Stu Peters, and the next thing you know, it'll be on Fox News and Newsmax, right?
Yep.
But it hasn't. I don't think it has anything to do with ticks or these hoaxes. You know what they all have in common?
What's that?
I decided to look up on ticks. Mm-hmm. And all the information that you can find online about ticks comes from NGOs, charities, and nonprofits. The same people who steal our money through places like USAID and AgBlue, okay? Mm-hmm. Without going too deep into this, I picked out just 2 of these so-called NGOs, right?
Yeah.
My favorite is the Bay Area Lyme Foundation, right? I don't know how to find out how much money they've been given of my tax dollars, but they all say the same thing. And what stood out to me with these guys, they give a brief 3-year synopsis on Lyme disease and how it's growing how it has evolved. But in the very beginning pre-statement, they say how they found Lyme disease in a 5,300-year-old mummy. Mm-hmm. I thought that was really interesting, right? How the hell did they find something like that out?
Yeah, I mean, especially since the thing that we now know as Lyme disease wasn't actually identified and I mean, hasn't been shown anywhere up until, basically 1975.
But who's showing it?
Yeah,
that's reputable is showing anything? Nothing, but these NGOs and all these people. Do you see the pattern? Use a little bit of pattern recognition here.
Sure.
As to what happened in Michigan with the Leering Center. Mm-hmm. Okay? It's all the same thing. I also picked out Open Secrets as an NGO. I wanted to point out to you guys.
Yeah, I'm familiar with them. Yeah.
Okay. And the one thing that stood out to me about them personally, actually 2. One is Frank Church. He was their founder. And the other thing that stood out at the very end, it says, in 2024, having serious financial difficulties, Open Secrets laid off 1/3 of its staff. Mm-hmm. Oh, USAID funds, anybody? That's all of our stolen money, right?
That could be. That definitely could be. Yeah.
Frank Church, the founder, he was handpicked by, guess who? Lyndon B. Johnson back in the 60s to be the chairman of the Senate Finance Committee. Wow. And he's obviously a Democrat liberal.
Yeah.
Just the guy we need to be looking over our money in the Senate Finance Committee, right? Somebody who's going to steal it all. And last but not least, we all know with the COVID hoax, that we just went through for the last, 6, 7 years,
mm-hmm.
that it's not unbeknownst for an entity, I will call them a conspirator, to make up a lie and then use all these NGOs, drop a seed, water it, and let these NGOs take over in order to scare the public into stealing more of our money. So one of two things is happening here with this tick conspiracy. I think it should be totally debunked, okay? Because I don't believe it to be true as far as the military trying to kill people with ticks. After seeing all this, I believe this is either an arm of the octopus that conjured up this whole hoax to steal our money, or it's a good guy's operation to point out and show us, create that pattern, starting with Minnesota. Now they're talking about healthcare fraud with disabled kids in Ohio. And the tick thing is another medical industry, just like the COVID hoax. Does that all make sense?
Yeah.
I get it. Eat me alive or hey.
Well, yeah, I mean, like the only reason. Okay, so I mean, I would push back on you on the not believing that it was weaponized, because I mean, I just don't see a reason for the government to admit that they had been doing the research. I mean, this is definitely like right in the wheelhouse of like chemical weapons development. But I mean, you're not wrong about nonprofits. The thing about the nonprofit world, and I know because I came from the nonprofit world. Like my master's is in nonprofit administration, so I've worked at nonprofits and I've seen how they operate, and all of them can very easily be corrupt because they depend upon some type of grant process or public funding. Now, that public funding may not always be direct. Like, the Lyme, the Bay Area Lyme Foundation, they are sponsored by the Laurel Foundation. So we would need to go look exactly at the funding for the Laurel Foundation. There's the Stephen Alexandria Cohen Foundation. There's Project Lyme. There's Fisher Global Foundation. And those are their largest sources of money. And then there's a whole bunch of other Lyme-related organizations that also have some money coming in. I can't find their financials showing exactly how much money they have brought in, which is unusual. Normally, it's pretty easy to go to a nonprofit website and they will produce their financials right there because they're supposed to. They're supposed to by law to show where this money is coming from and then where it's going out to. I was able to find how much money they give away every year. They give out about $1.7 million in grants every year. But I can't seem to find how much money they're taking in. And that does that gives me a little bit of pause. I see we have their tax identifier number, so I could find the information based on their tax identification number. But yes, we would need to go a little deeper. I've had friends who were diagnosed with Lyme disease, varying degrees of severity, and alpha-gal too. I mean, alpha-gal definitely is something that's affected people. And it's, I think the reason we heard RFK Jr. talking about it is because I talked about it actually the day after we talked about it here, is because that they're saying that they want to find a cure for alpha-gal so that people don't have to, avoid red meat or animal products for the rest of their life, because they want people to eat red meat. It's good for you. Yeah.
Well, in response, I appreciate that, your comments on that. Conspiracies don't start psyops, okay? Conspirators start psyops.
Of course.
Okay? And the conspirators that start psyops are people who want to benefit from the conspiracy. Would you agree with that?
Well, of course. And that's why I suggested that perhaps the psyop that we're watching play out might have something to do with the release of the vaccine that might be coming out. Because this is actually something I didn't mention when we were talking about this. I forgot. But there are such things as tick bait boxes where like you have a box that has an attractant for the ticks, and then you just put it on your property and then all of the ticks come to it. And so this guy that was showing these boxes with ticks coming out of them, he easily could have planted them himself. And then, of course, we don't know who he is, so we don't know where his money's coming from.
Well, this is what kind of got me on. That's what got me onto this in the first, because when a conspirator starts a psyop, in order to launder the money, and when I say launder money, maybe I guess the best way to put it would be to reference. I hate it when I can't remember a name off the top of my head. It's
You can just describe it if you can't think of it. It's all good. Happens to the best of us.
OMG media.
Okay.
But after this, we should probably get to. We have some other callers waiting in the background.
He went out and he's going to all these people's houses, tracking down Act Blue money and USAID money, and the people have no clue of that they were even giving donations. In other words, it's not stealing our money; they're stealing it and laundering it in people's names without them knowing it.
Right.
I mean, I think the writing is on the wall, and it's a duplication that we've seen throughout the last, I don't know, 2 years of disclosure.
Excellent.
So I don't know.
Well, I appreciate you calling in, brother. And again, no hard feelings. I wasn't even worried about it when I thought maybe you might have been upset with me.
No, not upset with you, man. You're my go-to podcaster. Okay.
I appreciate it.
What the fuck, man? What about me?
Hey, John, you did an awesome job with devolution. And,
I'm just kidding.
No, you did. You did an honest job with devolution. I will say, I think you're not finished with it yet.
Oh, I know I'm not. That's why I haven't written the book yet.
But I've always been a fan of conspiracies, and I've been following Zach since 2016. And
I was joking. I know. I just get people.
I am an annual contributor to you guys, and I always will be as long as I'm alive. Okay.
Appreciate that, man.
Thanks
Appreciate your support. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks for calling in. We'll talk to you soon.
Catch you later.
Bye.
I think that pretty much confirmed, that Zach was definitely issuing fear porn. And I think that totally confirmed it for me. So
it might have. It might have.
We have some other people waiting in the background, and I've pinned the link to join the show in the chat. And we did allow him to go a little bit longer because he was trying to call in last week during the tick topic. So we're probably not going to let most people go quite that long. But let's get to Pie Man, who's waiting here.
All right.
Welcome to the show, Pie Man. What's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing, Jon and Zak?
Good to see you, homie.
Doing well. How are you?
Something. There's an ad playing. I don't know what to do about it.
There's an ad playing.
Oh. You gotta turn off the stream while you're on the Zoom or while you're on the StreamYard call.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hold on. What am I doing? Yeah.
Hold for processing. We should almost have instructions for people to.
No,
he just took himself right out. That's okay. We got Rebelnator in the background. We can get to him quick and then.
Oh, sweet, good stuff.
Yeah. Or I should probably do our other sponsor real quick so I don't forget.
Let's just do it.
Get it out of the way, and then we'll go to Rebelnator. But we got Rumble Wallet real quick. We hear a lot about crypto, but here's the part most people miss. Crypto was created so you could actually own and control your own money. After the 2008 financial crisis, Bitcoin was designed as an alternative to banks. So instead of a bank holding your money, delaying transfers, or limiting your access, you're the one in control. If you've ever had to wait for a transfer to clear, you've felt that problem. Now, fast forward to today, everyone's heard of crypto, but getting started still feels quite complicated. And that's why we use Rumble Wallet. It takes all the complexity and makes it super simple. You can choose what you want, whether it's Bitcoin, dollar-backed stablecoins, or even digital gold backed by real gold. There's no complicated setup. It connects with MoonPay, so you can use your credit card or debit card or bank and be up and running in minutes. And once you're set up, you can even support your favorite Rumble channels like us here at Badlands Media directly. So do this now. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description of this video and download Rumble Wallet. From there, you can set up your wallet, tap buy, and you're in the game. In just a few minutes, you can go from hearing about crypto to actually owning some. All right. I think we got Rebelnator. And then Phil Scarborough popped in. And he called in my Daily Herold show the other day, and he was great.
Oh, yeah. He called in with us before, too.
Yeah. Rebelnator, what's up, man?
Hey, can you hear me all right?
We sure can. How you doing?
Oh, excellent.
Excellent. First, I'd like to say thanks for many hours of entertainment from both of you. And
you're very welcome, sir.
And it all started when I was 5. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, John.
Yeah.
So I have a question that was too long to put in the chat, and it wouldn't have worked in the rant. But imagine if we're in a situation right now where the powers that be and their unlimited funding were able to buy off a bunch of geniuses, put them in a think tank, and ask them how we could keep war going on in the Middle East. Because I'm absolutely certain if it weren't for the support for Trump, there would be no war in the Middle East right now. And I've been fooled so many times over the past few years. Like, oh, bummer. He fooled the hell out of me. All right. And what I'm wondering is it possible that we are rationalizing too much about Trump's behavior? And I'll go ahead and let you guys answer that off camera, or I'll get off right now.
You stay here. I have a couple questions for you. Did you vote for that black bastard?
I did the first time.
Okay.
I did the first time, not the second time, because I saw by his actions that he wasn't doing as he said. But that's exactly what's happening now.
Okay. Now, second question is, you said because of Trump's support, if it wasn't for Trump's support, we wouldn't be at war with Iran. Are you saying, like, if it wasn't for his support, it would be politically untenable? Is that kind of what you're...
I'm kind of saying that the Democrats or should I say the Democrats and Republicans, none of them would be okay with this. The only reason the Republicans are okay with it right now is because of Trump. And at least that's my view of the whole thing. And I'm just trying to consider the fact that I may have been BS'd again. And I know that creates friction, but it's friction. Experience. I'm in my 7th decade, and it's just been the same story over and over again. And here's where I am right now. As a matter of fact, I'm at this point. If something doesn't happen on our birthday, I'm out. I'm off this Trump train. This is bullshit. He's going too far. People are dying, and he was supposedly the man of peace. But yet a little Netanyahu comes in there, and next thing you know, we're blowing people up again, allegedly. Anyway, I could go on and on, but I'm not going to, because I understand the importance of the show. As a matter of fact, I've gone longer than I intended to begin with. But hey, if you guys could just kind of comment on that, and maybe, I know Zach will be able to rationalize somehow, but John, how do you rationalize it? How do you see what is going on and say, okay, I'm okay with that? All right, you guys, thanks again. You guys do so good for the community. I appreciate it. Have a great evening.
Thank you, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
Rebelnator. Zach, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, I have very specific thoughts about this. Let's just assume at a baseline what we're seeing is what's really happening. Okay, so from a rational and logical point of view, Israel thrives in an environment where they have the ability to constantly attack, be attacked, warmonger, reach out to the United States, demand that we help, ask for money. I mean, like, the whole thing that they have thrived, the environment in which they have thrived has been an environment in which they are constantly facing threats. And I would say that there is no other nation on earth that is more put upon, that doesn't come out constantly and saying that they are totally under threat from every single person around them. President Trump single-handedly has ended all of those threats in the Middle East. He has forced nations to come together. He has stopped the killing of people in Gaza. And by welcoming Iran into the international community, will take away any hope that Israel might have of continuing a forever war with Iran, or from going into any of their neighboring countries and attacking them and taking them over. Once the region is totally at peace, then Israel looks like what many people already believe them to be, which is a bloodthirsty nation that cares not for anybody who is not part of their clan. And I think that President Trump's efforts to end war all around the world is a testament to the fact that he doesn't want people to die and that he doesn't want the wars of years past to continue on forever. And it is difficult for some people, I think, to understand that in order to get somewhere, sometimes, maybe it's got to look like you got to take a couple of steps back. But I see Israel and United States power dynamic changing in a really big way. And I see the other nations of the Middle East also coming together in a unified sense, no longer having to worry about, bombs falling on their buildings because Israel is throwing them.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good answer. So you speak of like, how do you rationalize this, right? And there's really two options. Either like what we see is happening is what's actually happening, and I think you should always have in the back of your mind that is a possibility. Right. Even though I personally believe there's something bigger going on, and I'll get into why I feel that way and why I'm able to sometimes rationalize things I don't agree with. But that's like you have to have that in the back of your mind, and operating that way based on that being in the back of your mind is probably even more important than the other way around. It's why we advocate for getting connected to your local groups, coming to the meetups, meeting people, especially in your community, for when shit does hit the fan, if shit does hit the fan. Okay, like that is the baseline fallback plan. That's how you should be living anyway. That's how things should be designed. Now, like my rationalization for why I believe there's something bigger going on with Trump, it stems from the devolution theory. Obviously, spent a ton of hours of research on that. That was like the baseline of stuff. And then everything we lived through with the Biden administration only went to confirm that there was something bigger going on for me.
Yep.
Like the devolution theory. Now it comes to this term. I've gotten a lot of shit this term for speaking what I feel to be the truth. Like there are things that have happened that I disagree with and don't like, and people got mad at me for it because I wasn't preaching the hopium or preaching like everything's good, or like, hey, I don't like us going to bomb Iran, even though I understand there's a bigger picture there. Hey, I don't like gas prices the way they are, even though I understand like maybe it's just a temporary pain for long-term gain. The golden age stuff on the horizon.
But then you don't hate Trump enough, John.
I know.
And there's a problem.
It's the perfect representation of that cheerleader doomer thing. Like,
yeah,
if you're not on one side of the spectrum, you're hated by everybody, and that's where I feel like I am. But I don't know how I want to say this, and I think the reason so many people feel the way Rebelnator do earnestly is because how many people going into this Trump administration were preaching like this, that we did it. Everything's great. Look at all this awesome stuff that's happening. We're just going to sit here and cheerlead for everything.
Yep.
Even though things weren't like necessary, or they weren't cheerleadable, if that's even a word. Like some of the shit that people have been cheerleading sucked. And when people get their hopes high and like they're looking at something and they're being told like, yeah, that's a great thing you're looking at, even though with your own two eyes you recognize that thing kind of sucked. That doesn't look great to me. That's not great. You can only take that so many times before you start to like hop off that train, which is always why I've preached like temporary expectations. Not everything's gonna be great. This could take longer. I don't claim to know what's going on, but there's so many people out there, influencers, like even looking at when the Iran war started, and I was like, I had that post. What did I say? I was like, I can't remember the word I used. Indefensible, I think it was. And I got a lot of shit for that. And a lot of the people commenting on there and quote tweeting me and giving me shit were like, this is going to be over in a week. You just wait. Like Trump's only doing a couple things. It's going to be over in a week. And here we are almost 4 months later. And it's like, hey, what happened to those couple weeks, guys? Like, what the fuck? It's shit like that. And you wonder why people are feeling like the way Rebelnator does.
Well,
now,
the date fagging is always a problem. Every time somebody puts a timeline on something that they have no idea what is happening, then they are inevitably setting themselves up to be let down or to look like a dick at the end of it, because you're not right. You have no idea.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I support Trump. I believe there's something bigger going on. I think he does a lot of these things on purpose. I think he takes both sides of the same issue. But if I'm being totally honest, like if there are reasons you supported Trump that are like, I believe in his messaging, and his messaging was very America first, the Make America Great Again agenda. and you are no longer supporting Trump because you don't see that and what his actions are representing, I think I'm okay with if that's the people's takeaway, because as long as they're still supportive of like the America First agenda and the Make America Great Again agenda.
Yeah.
If there are things that you do not see happening that you were promised that you wanted, then I can't blame you for as long as you're still supporting the actual agenda, because to me, the MAGA movement and what Trump started and became the face of is so much bigger than Trump. And the mainstream media and everybody wants those two things to be equated, so that if you don't support Trump anymore because you don't like things, then you're no longer part of the Make America Great Again movement. And that's where the real division comes into line. And there has to be a party after Trump. There has to be a movement after Trump.
Exactly.
And so if you don't see things happening the way you want it to happen, that's okay. It doesn't mean like Rebelnator is not going to go out and vote Democrat. I'm assuming maybe he doesn't vote at all. Who knows?
Right.
Like there are, I think Trump does some of these things on purpose because the people are retarded and the people can't help themselves but idolize these people on social media and in the parties and in Congress. And like, we should hate the fucking Congress. Like, Congress is retarded and they're terrible.
Sure.
How many people on social media are like, oh my God, I got a retweet from Thomas Massey or whoever, Anna Paulina Luna, and like the celebrity status. Like, that shit's got to stop. The only way that stops is if you stop idolizing these people and putting them on a pedestal. And some of the actions I think Trump takes is intentional, in my opinion, to get people to stop doing that. So I'm okay with it. If you think gas prices too high, you should be bitching about that because they are too high. If you think prices of eggs or milk or any of this stuff is too high, you should be bitching about that. And you shouldn't be belittled for feeling that way. And if you want to pin it on Trump, you totally can, because, hey, some of it is probably intentional. And by design, you can blame Trump. But that shouldn't take you away from like the movement in general of trying to make America great again.
Yep.
That's like the baseline where I think we need to be careful to not totally black pill out, and why we need to be careful of the hopium dealers. And we need to temper expectations of what we really think is going to happen.
I agree with you 100%. And here's the thing, Trump doesn't, and I've said this so many times, Trump doesn't need you to worship him. Okay. I don't think Trump wants you to worship him. Trump has got to set the country up for success in a long-term sense. When, to the people who thought that, he was just going to waltz in on January 20th and immediately snap his fingers and everything was going to be fixed, that was incredibly naive. I mean, like, no matter what you think is actually happening, the deep state and the power structure that they've set up over the course of the 20th century and even earlier, it still exists. Okay. I mean, like, there is a hell of a lot of work to do and there is a hell of a lot of evil to overcome. So Trump has always never cared about playing the heel. Like, I mean, look at his the work that he's done, previously on WWF, okay, or in The Apprentice, right? I mean, like, President Trump would have no problem in people not liking him or thinking that he was doing one thing when he was doing something else, because at the end of the day, he, in my opinion, knows exactly what he's doing. And there is a much bigger picture here than just showing up and making everybody feel like everything's okay. You got to actually push through and fix these problems. And President Trump is not the only thing in government. I hear it all the time that people are suggesting that Trump do something that is constitutionally prohibited. Like, I mean, like all of that shit about, like no kings, and people are, demanding that he behave like a king. Like, I don't want President Trump to act like a king. I don't want any president to act like a king. And I want the various problems that we have in all three branches of government to be sorted out. But it is a complicated process, and we have an imperfect system. And I think that President Trump is working within the boundaries of the system that's set up to fix that, even if he is using some, non-standard types of practices to go about that. So, I think that at the end of the day, President Trump is setting up America to be fixed, to make sure that America is first, and at the same time, create something that exists after him. Because if people only care about politics because of President Trump, then he's not going to be president in a couple more years,
Yeah, but I also think, like, even if you believe that, which I think many people who watch Badlands or follow Q or any of that stuff, they do feel that way, but you can't operate that way. You have to be operating as if we are fucked, because if you operate as if everything's gonna be hunky-dory and we're just waiting for Trump to pull the trigger on something, I don't think that's gonna end well for any of us.
If I can just say one more thing, I also think that it's remarkably short-sighted for people to pick one issue that they have decided, they don't like about something that he has done in his agenda, and to throw everything else out that he's done. I mean, if you look at the totality of his 2 administrations, the amount of forward movement that we've had in a positive way is unlike any other president that's ever come before him. And I just, I don't know what to tell you if you can't see that, if you can't feel that. But I've been paying attention to politics for going on 40 plus years. Okay. And like seeing the way that the government operates. What's that?
I said, yeah, you are old as shit.
I am old as shit. I've been paying attention. All right. And there is something fundamentally different about President Trump. And that includes his discombobulation of both sides of the aisle. Friend and foe alike. President Trump is the only one, in my opinion, who 100% knows what he's doing. But I think that he's on point. And I would never, just say, I'm not going to, to be part of the America First movement anymore, just because I don't like one thing that President Trump did. Because there will always be times in your life where you don't necessarily understand what's in front of you until later. And, think about it in your own personal life. I mean, you ever been pissed off at somebody because you were, you didn't quite understand like where they were coming from, or didn't understand why they said what they said. And then only later, after it's been maybe explained to you, or you've seen the outcome, that you think, oh gosh, okay, you know what? I got humbled a little bit. Maybe I understand now.
Yeah, but then when that happens, and this is kind of from my personal experience, when the whole lawsuit bullshit started and everybody's like, oh my God, all this, the op story, everybody hated me. And then I put out that video, a lot of people who were talking shit, like they didn't come around and be like, yeah, I'm sorry. There were a few who did, but most of them just stopped talking shit because they realized like, oh, I kind of got duped here. Once you realize you got duped, you tend not to admit to it. It takes a big person to do that. But I agree with what you said in terms of, if you're expecting to ideologically align with anybody 100% of the time, and if you don't, you're going to like, I'm done, then there's not many people you're going to have surrounded you, because that's pretty much impossible.
Yeah.
But again, I totally understand where people are coming from, and that's the way Rebelnator presented that case, like what he said. That is a real feeling from a lot of people.
I get it,
and it is a justified feeling. And just going out there and saying to these people like, oh, but like, just wait. Like, don't you see the city of London and is being destroyed, and like, just be patient? Or like, that's not how you sell it. That's not going to do anything.
Well, some people are selling it pretty good.
They're not, though. If you actually like narrow down on like what they're trying to say, they're not actually saying anything of substance. They just keep saying the same thing over and over again using different fancy words. But we do have some more people backstage we should probably get to. In order, we have Phil Scarborough, we have Medbeds Co, and we have PJ Corrigan.
Oh, right on. All stars tonight, you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, CC says it's fine. I have a list. We do have a list of some of the haters. That is true. We have a list, but we aren't checking it twice quite yet.
The Herold list.
Yeah,
it's like,
pretty much
like the Epstein list.
Probably more of a Schindler's List.
Oh, there we go. Schindler's List. I'll take that.
All right, Phil Scarborough, what's up, man?
Hello. Is this the time travel line?
Yeah, it is. Where's your awesome camera setup that you had last time?
I've taken my mask off already. It's
okay. That's fair.
That's great.
That's fair. What's going on, man?
This is mainly a question for Zach.
Okay. What the fuck?
Did you ever listen to Art Bell's last broadcast in March of 2016?
Oh God, that was the one where he said that he was walking away and he couldn't talk about it, and he promised that he would be back and talk about it, and I don't think he ever did. Is that the one?
That same episode, he came out in support of Trump.
Yeah,
and he talked about how that they were staging these fights at his rallies, and he was talking about the ops.
Yes,
and then a month later, he has a debilitating heart attack, and he's never quite the same. And then he dies like 24 months later.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's a conspiracy for you. But yeah, going back to like, did we ever find out what he was talking about as far as his security risk and people were after him and all this stuff?
I don't think we ever did, because that was definitely something that troubled me and stuck with me. And when he died, we lost a real one. But yeah, I will go back and I will see if perhaps anybody has spoken about it in the last couple of years, because I don't believe that we ever heard anything more from Art on it specifically.
I just wonder I often wonder what he would have thought of the past 10 years and how he would have reacted and covered like COVID and the election and all this stuff, or even EQ. I mean, so you could certainly see how some people may not want the most powerful voice in radio to have a voice anymore when we go through these things.
Well, I mean, they got rid of oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank on his name. Behold a Pale Horse. I know. How am I going blank? Somebody in the chat is going to know who I'm talking about.
Rush.
No, not Rush. No.
Well, let him figure it out. Nobody tell him. Nobody tell him.
Oh God.
You can do it. You can do it.
I keep wanting to say Bill Hicks, and I know it's not.
You're
Bill
close.
Hicks.
That's the right first name.
Yes.
I have no idea.
Bill Cooper. That's it.
There,
Bill
boy.
Yeah.
You looked at the chats. Who told him?
I don't know.
Damn it, PJ.
It is PJ. Thank you, PJ. Yeah, Bill Cooper. I mean, they killed Bill Cooper right before 9/11, and obviously, if he had been around, it would have been a very different type of world after that. But Alex Jones walked in and stepped into his shoes, kind of the way that George Norrie came and stepped into Art Bell's shoes.
Speaking of Bill Hicks.
George Snorri, we call him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I miss Art, and I often listen to just a random show, some random show from 1996 or whatever. And
you should find me your favorite episode of his, because I've never listened to any show of Art Bell.
Oh wow!
But I only want to listen to his best. So if
the best is probably, or my favorite is John Titor.
John Teeter. Yeah.
Teeter. Yeah.
John Teeter one's good. I think that I might have played you a clip from the Mel's Hole episode, John.
But I want a full episode. I want the full experience.
Then there was the guy who flew into Area 51.
Yes. Oh God, that one is so good. Oh my God.
You got to give me links then.
Okay, I'll find them. Bill, you look too, buddy. We'll both find a couple of them.
All right, I'll let the next person in.
Okay. Are you done with your little project for Friday yet, Phil?
I'm trying. It's complicated. I'm using like 7 different AIs, and they're arguing with each other and all this stuff. So, but
have you tried using 17 different AIs? I hear that's the trick. That's the number.
No. I bet that's it.
I bet that's it. All right. Well, thanks, Phil. Just keep me posted.
Later.
Talk to you, brother. Peace.
All right. Thank you, Phil. Let's bring on MedBeds Co. and then PJ Corrigan and CG Riley is in the background as well.
PJ's doing a burn. He's got a burn barrel going. I can't wait to see what's going on.
He's disposing of a body or something back there.
He says yes. Oh man.
All right, MedBeds Co. What's up, man?
Oh, another day in paradise.
Right
on. Looking great. Is that one of Zach shirts?
On purpose.
Is that one of Zach shirts?
I intentionally, I don't know if you watch me backstage, I put on my most generally offensive golf shirt just so I could keep up with Zach.
I was just going to say he's obviously got good taste. So
I spent a lot of years in Orlando. I once upon a time had a very deep shirt collection. Anyway,
right on.
So I love this. I thank you, Baron von Lotion and Meister of Red Pill. But I'm not sure how we get back. You see this. I'm a daily guy, and I talk a lot about how I think that DC is really a criminal enterprise.
Not wrong.
It's like the original RICO Act. Okay, like if they looked at themselves and wrote RICO, just so they could be exempt. So there's this thing coming, the 250 event, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of storm going around this. And I saw this thing today where they're saying that we're going to be able to get back to pre-1871, and the 10 days of darkness starts on. I know, John, it's exhausting. The 10 days of darkness.
It's my neck.
Starts,
it's not you.
I am so sick of this movie shit. I mean,
I'm with you.
I would never pay for this movie. Oh, wait, I just paid property taxes, which are 3 times 4 digits what they were last year.
Oh,
oh my God. I'm in captured Colorado.
Oh,
Tangent. Sorry. So I want to hear your input on this, because I think there's a timeline, and I've done 10 years, 15 years worth of research around this, that we can't really get back unless we can predate the Organic Act of 1871 is really the first big problem that we have in this process. And then we get to the Jekyll Island event that happens around 1913. And then in 1947, we get Israel, the IRS, the CIA, all of the rest of the components. And then Obama comes in as the original Manchurian candidate.
Mm-hmm.
How can we expect the savior Trump to come out of criminal DC and return us to the Republic? We're supposed to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Republic in like 5 minutes. How do we do that when we are not judicial? The law does not support a republic. It's maritime law. And Zach, I know you're well read on this, and John, you're the continuing government. How do we get to COG with a return to pre-1871? I would love to hear the answer.
It's a great question. Great comment, Medbeds. Zach, you can go first.
Yeah. Oh, man. Like I was saying earlier about date fagging, I stay so far away from trying to predict any specific events. And even, 10 days darkness, I don't know that it's going to be like, specifically a shutdown of the country. I mean, like the usage of the term was so sort of loosely thrown in there without any real context to say exactly what it meant. And people have taken it, as many people have with a lot of the stuff that was in the posts, and they've ascribed their own sort of layover of meaning to it. And, I mean, it would be awesome, right? I mean, like if we did have some sort of grand gesture and the president called martial law and everything just shut down and there's no communications and, I mean, I know exactly the progression that people would expect to see. But at this point, I feel like anything that people expect to see is probably not going to happen. Like, just because we were not the only people reading those posts. And I think that there was a fair amount of it that was intended for the average anon, the average, person online. There was another audience, which was the deep state itself, paying attention, trying to divine what moves were going to come. And then you had operators that were probably reading the board and receiving messages that, maybe made no sense to anybody except them. So in terms of, getting back to like pre-1871, I mean, we're talking more than just the actions of President Trump. I mean, we're talking congressional actions, and we're also talking about a much bigger reorganization of the judicial system and the judicial branch of government than I think a lot of people realize. So,
can I ask a follow-up?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
So wouldn't the function of that be a combination of like a SCOTUS actually responding to common law and processing Brunson, right? Because we process Brunson, we clean out, we clean the whole toilet, right?
You're totally correct. Yeah.
And then there's something that looks like this Psyop framework called Nasara, which is a fucking Psyop.
100%.
And then you've got this Trump, what's his name, the tech asshole, Musk. You've got Musk coming in saying UBI is going to be the thing. So, there's a lot of people out here in the truther community. And look, I am a skeptic. I believe nothing. Okay. Even though I watch the Daily every day, I still believe nothing. So unless I can see it, touch it, taste it, feel it, I'm a skeptic. So this Nasara UBI Brunson thing is really roiling the community. And it's just, what's CanCon say? I am microdosing hopium. And I love that quote. So do you think that structure might exist You research more than I do, Zach. You have all day to do this. I have a farm to run.
I think Nasara Jassara is total hogwash. Okay, like so, I don't put any sort of faith in that. I mean, it's a document, right? I mean, it's like something that was proposed. It was never adopted. So I don't see that coming. And I really loathe the people out there that are constantly just like cheerleading, like Nasara's coming, like buy your XRP. I feel like it's a huge grift, and it really does a disservice to people. In terms of, Brunson, like, good God, I mean, like, but I think you're absolutely right. I mean, there could be something like that comes out of SCOTUS, which would single-handedly restructure the entire framework. And that is always a possibility. But until they agree to even take it up, it's like, it's just another data point for me.
Oh, that's a great statement.
Yeah.
Because if you resolve something to a data point, you can just shit upon it and forget about it.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to take up any space because there's so many data points, right? And it's like I because of how long I've been doing this, I mean, I've come to the point many, many years ago where I sort of just have to treat my mind as a filing cabinet. And, I mean, like I try to get as much information as I can, and I try to be able to, recall back to it and bring it up if it's relevant. But I don't allow anything to eat up any more space than necessary. And I think that quite often you will have people, I've said this many times before, but people will choose like pet subjects or pet issues, something that they think, like, oh, this is it. This is the one thing, and this is the only thing I'm going to pay attention to, to the point where they'll go after people for not agreeing with them. Like, you don't believe what I believe, and so therefore I am not going to be nice to you, or whatever it might be. I mean, like, people just get wrapped up in something, and I'm far too analytical to be obsessive about any one thing in particular. I'm just obsessed about everything equally.
I want to comment on what you said earlier, Zach, and this is a common refrain from many people in the community. It's when we talk about where this is going and like the solution for it, everybody's looking at Trump and like what he's doing, and they're looking at like, oh, well, we need to, if we're going to go back to a pre-1871 situation, we got to change the judiciary, and it's going to take a huge constitutional overhaul and all these things. And I'm just sitting here thinking of what the founders actually intended and the people of the mindset prior to 1871. If they saw where we were now, like, their solution for that was not the government providing the solution. It was the people overthrowing the government, essentially throwing this government off their back and starting over. And I think that is much more in line with the probable solution that we need than, hey, let's hope we can fix our elections, to have the government come in and then fix the rest of the government for us. And that's not going to fix things. It's okay to admit that
we all stop paying taxes.
Hey, I am totally supportive of that. I used to be afraid to like even say that out loud, but I'm not anymore. Like, the government itself, the people that we're looking to fix our problems, right? Their solution to the fraud and all that shit is to not give the states the money until they fix their fraud problem. And so I think it's totally fair and acceptable for us to have the same solution towards the federal government when they have a $1.7 trillion deficit, and the amount of debt of they've told us repeatedly now, both Trump and Stephen Miller and others, that if we get rid of the fraud in this country, we would balance the budget. That is absurd. That is an absurd amount of taxes. So totally on board.
All it needs is a washcloth.
Washcloth. You sound like my grandpa. That's funny.
I mean, I think like for me, I believe ultimately like that is part of Trump's plan, is to bring us to a position where it's not necessary. I mean, I don't know that it's necessary right now. We have a problem with spending. The politicians just write blank checks. They don't ever want to pull back on any of that stuff, and they have no problem taking advantage of us. I agree with John. But the concept of doing that, I think, requires a level of organization at a nationwide scale that I just don't know is possible.
What requires organization?
Well, for the people to overthrow the government in this modern age where we have
a peaceful overthrow. It's not. It's mass opting out. That's what it is. It's not even necessarily an overthrow. It's just if enough people opt out, and I know I'm sounding like G Money, and on a long enough timeline, everybody should be sounding like G Money, because his mindset, as brash as it is, he's kind of over the target with a lot of things. It's the opting out, guys. We've been talking about it for a long time, and I think that is the answer. If you get enough people to opt out, what can they do? What will they do? They can't arrest everybody.
That goes
Zach,
to my point, though.
I have a statement for you, Jack.
Yeah.
I'm old enough to remember when Twitter, in its inception, was helping revolutions in South American countries.
I remember as well. Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I was on Twitter, I think 2011 is when I started my account.
Well, my point here is that social media is the key to that.
Mhm.
If you want to organize a bunch of people to do something unconventional, then you have to pay them or you have to motivate them that their life will be better if they do it. So I spent a lot of years coaching kids, and I coached those kids because I wanted to raise good kids.
Mhm.
And I spent a lot of years getting homeless veterans off the street because I liked getting homeless veterans back in touch with their kids.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Good for you.
you know, and
Yeah.
and I spent a lot of my life doing that. Well, that level of motivation has to exist in the citizenry
Mhm.
regarding voting, taxes, and the ability to live a free and productive life based on, I don't know, I'm going to be radical here, but like the Bill of Rights.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Yeah.
how do we get back there? I mean, what does that structure look like? In Badlands is part of that. You know, I love this community.
Yeah, yeah. I totally agree with you. I mean, like, I used to have more faith in social media as the conduit to do that, but it has perhaps waned over the years as I've seen how easily it was corrupted and subjugated by the various powers that be. It was like, you know, when we realized the power inherent in social media for mass communication and, you know, to gather the troops, sort of, so to speak, you also had, you know, governments and intel agencies and bad actors doing the same thing. And, you know, we do have a very different ability to organize it, you know, in the modern age than we had, you know, just, you know, 20 years ago. But at the same time, you've got so much subversion and people that are online, maybe not even people, artificial intelligence now, or just entire agencies of people we, you know, just set up deliberately to run psyops on people on the internet. And that it kind of dilutes the ability. It dilutes the effectiveness of what we can do. But it doesn't mean that I'm willing to give up or to push it away. But yeah, no, I totally agree with you.
And I appreciate your comments, Medbedsko. We do have a few other callers we want to get to here, so we're gonna let you go here, man. Appreciate you calling in. That was a good comment and question.
Yeah, great having you, bud.
All right, let's get to PJ Corrigan. What's up, PJ?
What's up, fellas?
What up, homie?
Those biceps.
Oh, I know, right? I'm just out here doing my part for mass civil disobedience and violating the burn ban that was just placed on Pierce County out here. So
right on,
no
right
shit,
on,
that boy.
Yeah. But yeah, I am getting. What's that?
I was gonna say, so California, right? If
no, I'm in. Oh, are you talking where I live?
Yeah,
I'm in Washington.
you're Washington. Okay, I knew it was like some communist. Yes,
yeah,
west
absolutely.
side of the country. Okay.
Yes. So here's what I was thinking. I'm getting eaten alive by mosquitoes here, and I've got some young ones that are needing to get in bed. But I kind of wanted to touch on a little bit what Rebelnator was talking about, and I could say, so we're sitting here, we're looking at, we're seeing like this with the data centers, the flock cameras, we're kind of seeing like the groundwork for this mass surveillance network kind of being laid down, right? I mean, in my opinion, you know, you might disagree, but what I was thinking was if it wasn't for the Q op, if it wasn't for Q, like, where would people be? Would we be up in arms at this part? If there wasn't this underlying notion that there was something else going on, that patriots were in control, would we not be so, you know, suffice to, you know, just be
passive?
Yeah, exactly. You know, and I think of like everything that Trump has done so far in his, you know, in the term of the 2 years he's been in there so far. And like the biggest thing I could say he's done is maybe like the immigration stuff. He's cut down all the immigration. But if you think, you know, if you believe in devolution, and and this is something that I would always get me if I was trying to convince like my wife or something that devolution was real. She'd be like, well, if devolution is real, then, you know, Trump's doing a really shitty job here. He's letting all these people in, you know, and so basically the main achievement that he's made, you know, could be thought of as something that he kind of allowed to happen.
Yeah.
Right, exactly, you know. And so my thought, the more and more I'm thinking about it, I've never been into I'm probably like you, John. I never read the drops or anything. Everything I've gotten about Q has been kind of secondhand. But I just see, you know, how nefarious that would be if it wasn't op the whole time. And here we are just sitting here passive, you know, just watching everything just get it set up, and we're sitting here just waiting for something to happen. You know, we know something's going to happen because it's got to happen, right?
Yeah.
I just kind of wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that.
I mean, man, you're to me, you made a lot of great points and a lot of things I completely agree with. I think it's totally fair to be asking the question if it wasn't for stuff like the Q drops and even the devolution series, you could you know, put that in the same camp. Has that made people passive? I don't know. I mean, it depends, because there are certain camps that I see, like some of the Q decoders who say like just trust the plan, everything's cheerlead, all that stuff. I do think it's had that effect, but I think there's also some people who, you know, have read the Q drops. Maybe they don't decode it every day or whatever, but it's definitely sparked them to be more active. And I think that certain level of passivity within the MAGA movement, just generally coming from that cheerleader camp, like it doesn't matter what it is, they have to cheerlead at all times. And there's a ton of social incentives behind it, including from a lot of the, you know, celebrities from Trump and his cabinet and in Congress and government and on TV and all the big accounts. Like there's a ton of social incentives to do that. And that's pretty unfortunate, because if we're wrong about some of these things, we could be very fucked. Like that's a very real possibility. So I don't know, man. Like that's a great comment and question. I think you're not the only one thinking that. Totally fair question.
Yeah, I too think that it's you know, fairly astute, and you're right on. But I would suggest to you that the passivity of society did not suddenly start in the last 8 years.
Sure.
I think that was something that existed already, and I would say that, you know, the Q-op and, you know, everything that America has gone through these, you know, this last decade. I think that it's woken more people up than at any time in history. And the conversations we have now openly with each other are light years away from what it used to be. I mean, I've told this story before. I mean, like when I was working at Verizon, when my daughter was a toddler, you know, I'd walk in and I'd try to have a conversation with somebody, and I'd be like, oh my God, Zak's talking about World War II again, or Zak's talking about chemtrails. Zak wants to talk about 9/11. Let's go. You know, nobody wanted to talk about that stuff. Nobody would see it. And it was like I existed on this island, essentially. So, you know, flock cameras, they started back in 2017. The surveillance grid predates flock, you know, way before that. So, you know, I do see that as the sort of logical evolution of all of these things. But I also see the anger and the mistrust in society in general, and people pushing back. You know, there's a big movement of people, amateur hackers, who simply just go around their community with little devices and screw up those flock cameras. And that's not the only thing that people are doing to raise awareness or to stop them from being able to spy on people.
Is that coming from the Q community though, or even like our community? I don't think that behavior is.
I don't know who. No. I don't know any of these people personally. I just want to go on record and say that, because it's very illegal down here in Florida. But I'm just saying, you know, Q community notwithstanding, I'm talking about America as a whole. You know, I think there's a lot of people who consider themselves to be more awake and aware of the evil of the world and how corrupt Washington, D.C. is. And, you know, not even just D.C., but politics in general. You know, I have seen humanity evolve in a very short time, farther in any sense than they ever were before. And so, you know, if there are people who are simply just, you know, sitting in their armchair and waiting for something to happen, I don't know any of them personally. I know that they exist, you know, because I mean, I will see things out there online, but I mean, like, community activism and like personal responsibility have always been super important for me. And, you know, I feel like I talk about that stuff on the show, and, you know, I'm not telling people to just, you know, hope that things are going to be okay. You know, I mean, like, you know, I truly do believe that America is going in one direction, and it's not just America, it's the world. But I'm very realistic about the scope of that work and how much we have to do, how difficult that job is going to be, and the fact that you can't take any of it for granted. There is a distinct possibility that our generation, might not even live to feel that the end that we want was successfully reached. Okay, because what we are fighting against is a force that is hundreds of years older than any of us. It's a multi-generational war. And ultimately, I want to set up my children and my grandchildren to continue on this work, even if it's not, you know, the perfect world that people want to see right now. But I do believe that that's the direction that we're going. And so, you know, I sleep pretty good at night at the end of the day.
Yeah, I do think you're right. I think your generation probably won't see, but I think mine might. You know,
mine too.
Just giving you a shit, Zach. I think there's an interesting something you said about like more people being awake now.
Yeah,
I think there's an interesting discussion we could have here. Maybe now's not the time for this discussion, but when we talk about awake, like we should almost define that, because I agree that there are more people that are like they've at least tried to like figure out what's going on. But I feel like that isn't enough, because I feel like a lot of people who have tried and like maybe they're just paying attention to Twitter and the news and stuff more now. I feel like they're getting really terrible information and they're awake to things, but they're still talking about elections as if they're like legitimate, and they're still paying their tax. Like I think there's a distinction that needs to be made here. This should be a bigger conversation between what it means to be awake and what the next level is that we should be shooting for that we haven't reached on a whole. Does that make sense?
I
think you got a GARP panel right there, John.
Hell yeah.
Let's do it.
You know,
let's do it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to say, I hear a rumor that in each of those flock cameras there holds about $300 worth of copper and gold. Just if anybody wanted to, you know, I don't know. One last comment I have is has to do with Milton William Cooper, and if he was still alive today, Zach, like, what do you think he would think about us with the surveillance state and everything? You know, just letting it kind of go.
You know, I mean, he was fairly vocal about it before. So, I mean, I just think that his work would have continued and he would have, you know, called out all of these things. God, I mean, what a world if Bill Cooper had survived that encounter with the IRS. You know, I think that Bill Cooper would have been a force to be reckoned with. And, you know, what people perceive as the truth movement today, I think that would have been a lot further along if he would have survived. Yeah, it would have been a good world, I think.
Nice, right on. Well, I appreciate you guys taking me. I'm getting eaten alive by these Google mosquitoes out here, so I'm gonna let you guys go.
Yeah, right on, brother. It was great.
Hey, we got to try to game with PJ one of these days. We keep talking about it, but we never actually make it happen. Let's do. Get your kids Xbox. Let's do it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm down. Let's go.
All right, brother.
All right,
later, PJ.
Well, thanks. All right. Later.
Peace.
All right. And I think we got our last caller in the background here, CJ Riley. Let's bring her on.
CG,
sorry. CG, how you doing?
Hello, I'm doing good. How are y'all doing? Can y'all hear me okay?
We've got the
fellow co-founder. Welcome to the show.
Yes, that would be me. Anyway, so how are y'all doing this evening? Good. A good show tonight.
Splendid.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah.
I like this call-in show. We've had success with
I
the
think I have the
call-ins.
whole solution though.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm here for it.
Okay, so I was saying something on YouTube one day about how government should be more like jury duty, where everybody gets a turn.
Love
you
this.
know, you have to hold town hall meetings where everybody has to be there, you know, unless they're like, you know, disabled for some reason, can't get there. And there should be a way for them to join online too. And then, you know, you listen to your whole community and you go for a certain amount of time. And during that time, if you have a job, you can't lose it, you know. And then you go and vote whether you agree or you disagree with the way that your community wants you to vote.
I like that.
I've talked about this before. I think having a government system where it's not like, hey, I want to go there and make a bunch of money and do all these things. It's like an actual duty. Like, shit, I have to go serve my 2 years in Congress. Like, I'm not opposed to that kind of thought. And it's 2 years, you're done, and then you move on.
And Babbage on YouTube informed me that that's the way the Greeks used to do it.
Hell yeah. They were pretty based for a period of time, weren't they?
And you scolded me, John.
I would never have done such a thing.
You did, John. You
what
did.
did I do?
I was okay. So on May 5th, I have about a 5 or 6 foot ditch out in my front yard that's for runoff, and there's a tree stump beside it, and I got caught on the tree stump, and all of a sudden the lawnmower. I was on my riding lawnmower, and I got stuck there. And it flipped upside down in the ditch. And there are thorns and blackberry bushes and everything down in there. And I got scratched up and beat up and bruised bones and all this stuff. And so we were talking about, if somebody had asked me how I was doing, I said, I'm doing great. I'm on a painkiller. And you were like, who's talking about the painkiller? They're having a discussion about painkiller.
I wasn't, being me. I was just commenting. Sometimes I fall behind in the chats and I try to catch up what's going on.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
you're lucky you didn't get cut up by the lawnmower. People have been killed by that.
I know. And I was down there for like 3.5 hours.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I was screaming for help, and I was right beside the road. And finally, my neighbor came out and found me, and the paramedics had to come. And the fire, I don't even know how many people were out there, to tell you the truth. I have no idea. But they picked the lawnmower up off me, and then they told me that it was getting ready to catch fire.
Oh my God.
That's lovely.
Was it running the whole time you were under it?
No, thank God. I mean, I'm very blessed. Listen, I had scratches like everywhere, couple bruised bones and stuff, and I have an injured shoulder, but I'm so blessed that nothing more happened than that. So very grateful.
That's crazy.
But, yeah,
Ditches be crazy.
It was very scary. I thought I might be down there the whole night long, and the dogs would not have been happy.
Oh no. I'm glad you're okay. That's awful.
They would not have been happy. And I do. Okay, so I had the conspiracy theory. I don't know if you remember about Dr. Richard Buttar.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yes.
Remember that? And I used to work for him, and I thought he was a real freak at that time. And I did. He would make us read these books and stuff, and I thought, I'm working for a real weirdo. I had to do his website. Mm-hmm. So I had to read about everything that he did and how his son had autism and he developed chelation and everything. But yeah, he died of mysterious circumstances along with those other doctors. And then there's another conspiracy theory that I have for y'all that's very interesting that has to do. Have y'all ever heard of the Brown Mountain Lights?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. We've never done that, but I would totally talk about that easy. I know a lot about it. Yeah.
Oh, I live near there. Ooh. So I've been out there, and I actually did a video where they put it on Paranormal Caught on Tape.
Yeah.
They bought it for me to use it for a certain amount of time, but I missed the email about the interview. I was kind of glad I did after I saw the episode. But anyway,
can you send me the video so that we can show it on the show when we talk about it?
Maybe we can have you on when we do it.
You mean like right now?
Well, no, you don't have to do it right now. But I'm just saying.
Right now.
Yeah, well,
no, I can't do it right now, John.
I'm just kidding. We can do it for a
I don't
future
know how
show.
I'm not that talented. I'm sorry, but anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, I can send the video. I got a really good video. It was really cool. I went out there with my mom, and you can hear an older lady that's next to me too. And I would tell them to change colors, and they would change colors.
Ooh.
And they would come up. It was crazy. There were a bunch of them. There's a certain time of year, I can't remember when I was out there, when it's the best time of year to see them.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. My email is redpill78@proton.me. And you can see that in the show notes on all my shows. But yeah, whenever you can get it to me, that would be awesome, and I can easily put together a show on that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was really good. I will send that to you. And yeah, you know the story about the land and everything, and all these scientists and everything have been out there to try to figure out what the lights are, and nobody's come to a conclusion yet. And they are out there. I've seen them with my own eyes.
That's awesome.
And videotaped.
Wow.
So got a really.
We should do that next week, Zach.
Okay, yeah. I had something else prepared, but that's fine. I can easily put that on the back burner.
Well, we like to mess up your schedule. Though.
Oh no, it's okay. I don't mind. I don't mind.
Keep him on his
Whatever
toes.
people want.
Yeah,
Oh,
what the people want. That's true. And I can't think of any more. I'm sure I have a bunch of them in the back of my head somewhere, but they'll come out at a little bit at a time. A drip, and then a flood. But yes, I'm ready for this crap to be over too. I'm ready for the credits to roll and for them to do a bow and you know. And hello all my YouTubers. Hey y'all.
Yeah, they're loving you over on YouTube right now. They're talking.
Yeah,
they're super pumped.
they better be saying good stuff.
Oh, they are. You got a good crew.
Yeah,
on
I
YouTube.
love my YouTubers. We're like a little family over there.
Hell yeah.
And Rumble too. Y'all are welcome to come over too. They come over when Rumble starts messing up. So
That definitely
hit
happens.
the like button, which is good. You know, don't forget everybody.
Oh yeah, thank you so much for coming on, CG. We'll email that over to Zach, and maybe we can talk about getting you back on for a little bit next week or whenever we talk about that the Brown Mountain
Okay,
Lights.
that would be really cool. Thank you.
Awesome. Looking
Thank
forward.
Y'all have an awesome night.
You too. See ya.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Yeah, that's a good reminder, guys. Make sure if you're on YouTube, go to Rumble, and if you're on Rumble, go to YouTube. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. It'd be greatly appreciated. Definitely helps with the growth. We reached 18,000 subscribers over on our YouTube channel, which has been pretty cool. So appreciate that. But Zach, how are you feeling about boosts and rants?
I'm feeling good about the boosts and the rants. Somebody in the chat had suggested, probably in like relation to what I said earlier about the scope of the problems we're dealing with here in the United States. I think they mentioned that the people of El Salvador have definitely felt the benefits of the reforms that Bukele made. And I don't deny that at all. They had a very different constitution and, a differently structured government than what we have here. Not to mention, they're a fraction of the size of the United States. They're like roughly 6 million people. And, so I think you're right. And Bukele, I'm a big fan of him. And he's even suggested to President Trump that we attempt to do something like that. But in order for that to happen, I mean, just look at what he tries to put together a fund to benefit the people who were, attacked by the government, and they stop it from happening. I mean, he tries to renovate a building.
Reopen the case, yeah.
Yeah, he tries to renovate the building, and they stop it from doing it. I mean, there's a lot more going on here than just President Trump saying, let's do this, because there's all of these roadblocks that are set up in the way. And if it was as easy as snapping the fingers, I mean, I think I would really enjoy it, but it's unfortunately not the way we have it here.
But to be fair, some of these things, it may appear as if like this judge is just coming out and being anti-Trump, and there's a lot of that stuff going on. But what if like the establishment of that fund and the way that lawsuit went down was done in a totally unconstitutional way? I think it's totally cool, and I'm okay with us examining and seeing whether or not that should be legal or should be done in the first place. Just because Trump was trying to do this thing was his lawsuit for $10 billion against the IRS, and then the settlement between his personal attorneys and then his attorneys he's the boss of at the DOJ. Is that like a constitutional thing? I could see the argument that maybe it wasn't. So,
well, I mean, nobody cared when Obama set it up under his term and then didn't even give the money to the people that it was supposed to benefit, and he handed it off to a bunch of NGOs. So,
well, I'm not saying that that wasn't bad too. They could both be bad, and like I want to know what's the constitutionality of it. Like whether Obama did it or not doesn't mean we should do it too, Well,
I don't think there is a problem with it constitutionally, and I think that the precedence already exists, and the process by which they were going to be giving those payouts was completely different from the way that the Obama administration did it. The framework was set up in such a way so that, it wasn't just going to go to anybody. It wasn't going to be a bunch of payouts to people who were just, friends of Trump or something like that. And
nobody's gotten paid out yet. So
what's that?
I don't know. I think we could have a pretty good discussion, maybe on Only Lands one of these times, about the actual constitutionality of it, because I can't imagine the founders would agree with that. But that's besides the point. Tonight was a fun show. I love the call-in. A lot of great comments. We have such a smart audience, and I love that not everybody agrees.
Yeah.
Even though some people think it's an echo chamber, I really feel like we're like one of the only places left that isn't. Like, we get shit in the chat from people like, oh my God, are we not allowed to agree? But then, like, on Twitter, I'm seeing people like, I can't believe Badlands would platform someone like Shipwreck who turned on Trump. Like, we are the furthest thing from an echo chamber. And so I appreciate when people can do it respectfully and have fun doing it. So let's do the rant, boost and rants. But first, let's say this. You guys, this summer, June 25th through the 28th, everybody needs a vacation, needs to get away. Everything sucks. The internet sucks. Go outside, touch grass. Come touch grass with us in the mountains, the hills of Deadwood, South Dakota. It's going to be a fantastic conference. We're going to have some great panels. Badlandsmedia.tv/events. Also, this Wednesday, I think, is going to be our first exclusive ticket holder live stream. So if you're an in-person or virtual ticket holder, you can watch us. And that's kind of where we come up with the panels and how we want to do things. So make sure you guys get your tickets. Badlandsmedia.tv/events. And then for boosts, we got 1027JS left $20. Says, thanks, guys. Thank you, Joe, my fellow North Dakotan.
Thank you.
And then we got a few rants here. Let me pull these up. All right. Snowcat Operator gifted a subscription. Thank you for doing that. 12 Indie Boy. Good to see you, Ty. Is it bad if you get shushed by one cousin when visiting an aunt dying in hospice because you found out a different cousin is into conspiracies and will watch Baseless because I'll share the link?
I hope that you shared with her all the research I've published about cancer. Well, I'm assuming it's cancer. I don't know what it is, but sorry for your loss. It's great.
I didn't say lost yet. So.
Hospice is where you go to die, John.
Yeah, but we don't know if it's lost yet.
Yeah, but you don't check out a hospice. I mean, this is somebody who's guaranteed to pass.
Praise your family, Ty, but love you, brother, for sharing the link, sharing the word.
Thank you very much.
Looking forward to seeing you. It's like 20 days away. Mac Southwest Patriot, thanks again for coming on, man. Says standing by on StreamYard for $17.
Appreciate you.
Bogey 120 left $50. It says, great show, guys. Actually got to see it live.
Glad you're
here. You tuning in live. Boom Diggity for $100. Thank you, Boom. Says, love the show and love hearing the call-ins as well. Thanks for all you both do daily.
Thank you.
Really appreciate that. Thank you for the generosity.
Yeah.
Hammer Guy 35 for $10. Good to see you, man. Says, Badlands have the best shows ever. No need to watch anything else. I mean,
high praise.
High praise. I would agree sometimes. Flyers 763 for $2. Zach, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
I mean, that's the question to end all questions, isn't it? I mean, I would say the egg, but I mean, if God created everything from scratch, he would have had to have created a fully formed chicken by which an egg could be laid. So obviously, we come from the union of eggs and sperm, but Adam was created and then Eve was created basically a type of primitive genetic copy of Adam, but also not a copy because it was just basically his rib. So I would have to say that God must have created a fully formed set of chickens so that the eggs could then be made.
I would say I don't really care. And I think spending too much time thinking about that question is a distraction. Psyop. Probably. But Mighty Brush 68 for $5 says, $5 for CG Riley's accent. I could listen to her all night. Next show, I'd like to discuss SOG, Vietnam War, CIA, and opium. My dad was Air America adjacent, 1960 to 61.
Okay, so hold that thought because we did do an Air America episode, if I'm not mistaken. But I would love it if you called in on the next call in and talk about this. That would be really interesting.
Hell yeah, I would.
Yeah,
awesome. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. That was a fun one. And Zach, you'll be on tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern on your channel.
That's correct. Yeah.
And I'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern right here on Badlands for the Daily Herold. And with that, hit the thumbs up. You guys have a great rest of your night. Zach, as always, it's been a pleasure.
Glad to be here.